Joining me now for reaction in New York is Monica Crowley, who is a senior fellow at the London Center for Policy Research, and also in New York is Julie Alvin. She's the digital director of lifestyle titles at Time Inc. All right, Julie, I said a lot in that angle, so tell me what I got wrong. Correct me, tutor me, Julie. Go ahead.
Frankly, I think it's almost bizarre that you believe that this is some sort of liberal conspiracy constructed to, collect email addresses to campaign for 2018. These women are standing up not just for people in their industry, but they're standing up specifically in this letter for women who are unable to speak up for themselves, women who are in low-paying jobs, who are farm workers, who are working at hospitals, who are working in hospitality, who are working in hotels, at restaurants, women who do not have the funds, don't have the platform to talk about sexual harassment, but who do experience large amounts of sexual harassment. They're connecting these women with legal experts. They're connecting them with money. They're laboring and lobbying organizations for legislation that helps people speak out against this, that penalizes places that use non-disclosure agreements to silence women who've been victims of sexual abuse. So I'm honestly confused on why you seem to think
confused?
This is this nefarious project. I think that it's something that is good for women.
So the National Women's Law Center, that very long title that's kind of, at the core of this effort, it was just started in October, and one of the core mission statements of this group is focused on Donald Trump. You don't think that lends some political taint to the otherwise, laudable goal of protecting women in the workforce? This from an industry that has made millions and millions of dollars hypersexualizing women, taking advantage of young women who are naive and frankly ignorant of the way men could be and are oftentimes in the workplace. Now suddenly they get millions of dollars for an organization that's populated by all liberal actresses, as far as I can tell, and we're supposed to believe, oh, they've just found their moral conscience on this? I mean, it doesn't even pass a straight face test. Not bizarre. It's totally logical that that's what this group would be about when they focused on Trump right in the beginning.
I think that this is, the things that you point out about this industry hypersexualizing women and treating women poorly and putting images of women out there that's sort of unsavory. I think that's exactly what part of this initiative is trying to address. So, 80-some% of board members in Hollywood are men, 96% of directors are men, 71% of writers in Hollywood are men. And when these stories that do objectify women are largely being told by men, I think part of what this initiative is doing, especially with the part of the initiative that's trying to find gender parity.
These stories aren't just being told by men. Women write their own stories. Women write their own stories about what roles they take, what they're going to do.
96% of the directors are men, so I would say that's not true.
All right, let's go to Monica. I got to get to Monica. Monica, look, when they have a group called 50-50 for gender parity by 2020, 2020 is a presidential election year. I don't think it takes a genius to figure out that there might be more than just a philanthropic goal here behind this effort. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Laura, this looks like the latest mobilization of Saul Alinsky's phrase, never let a good crisis go to waste. The sexual harassment crisis is real. Women do suffer at the hands of superiors and men across every industry, as we have seen. But what we have just seen here in the last couple of weeks, and certainly with these latest two groups, is an effort by the left to take this genuine crisis and hijack it into two directions. One, in this liberal left-wing direction, and more specifically, to have women that now supplant men in positions of power and authority. If women genuinely deserve those positions, more power to them. But if they don't, if this is just going to amount to yet another quota system, then we have a problem. The other direction that this is being mobilized in, Laura, is the direction of Donald Trump. In many ways, the accusers of Donald Trump in late October of last year, right before the election, that in a way was ahead of its time, right before the Harvey Weinstein story broke all of this wide open. What they want to do is make those accusers relevant again. They are going to try to reanimate this whole thing in order to target Donald Trump.
This is about Trump. Monica and Julie.
I think you guys are the only ones trying to politicize this.
Guys, we got to get into another issue, and I want to explore something else with you and show you how this type of thing can manifest itself. that big dollars being raised, big bucks being dedicated to derailing the Trump presidency is what I'm saying about with this charges of sexual misconduct. This happened shortly before the election. On New Year's Eve, the New York Times reported that Hillary Clinton backers David Brock and Susie Tompkins Bell gave $700,000 to Lisa Bloom's law firm. Now, that money was to support any woman who would come forward with allegations against candidate Trump, but not one woman took the offer. What does that tell you, Julie? Is there any political taint with that money coming from Hillary's good friend, David Brock?
I understand where you're coming from in this. I certainly don't like the idea of exploiting or specifically going after digging up that sort of dirt in order to, for political means. That said, it's not like this money was supposed to go directly towards those people who potentially may be making accusations. This was money to go towards relocation expenses, towards legal fees, towards concrete things like that. And, again, I don't like the idea of sort of trying to dig and potentially exploit people who have legitimately been sexually harassed or abused. But there is evidence that, there have been lots of allegations against Donald Trump for sexual harassment. He's spoken openly himself about touching women in a sexual manner without their consent. And so there's concern there. There's smoke. And I think that, there are women out there who have been mistreated by Donald Trump. And I think that our country deserves to know about that.
So David Brock is a longtime pal of Hillary's, runs all these, groups that support Hillary Clinton and others. He was at one time a conservative. He wrote a book exposing Anita Hill. And now it's pretty ironic, is it not, Monica, that Anita Hill is brought in by Hollywood to oversee this effort to, I guess, expunge all sexual bias from Hollywood, or at least try to. I agree with you, Monica, what you said. There are men in positions of power, abuse their positions, and take advantage of young women especially who need an opportunity. There is also a political element running right through this, as most of the people recently accused, most, not all, have been people on the left. And that's just a fact. And all these Hollywood people who have been accused, I don't think there's one. Is there one conservative? I don't know. Maybe there's one or two people. But most of these people happen to be Democrats. That's another reason I think this movement has been broadened out leading up to 2020. You can close it out.
Well, in this story on Brock and this money that went into Lisa Bloom's firm, Lisa Bloom, the so-called champion of women and women's rights, right? We are seeing a weaponization of sexual harassment, which I think is a genuine tragedy, Laura, because there are real cases. And the real women who have been victimized by this kind of bad behavior are now going to have their credibility fall into greater question, whether or not Lisa Bloom or some of these other political activists are by their side. And that's the real tragedy here.